Mabuhay, this is Bob from Love Beyond the Sea. My channel is about marriage to a woman from the Philippines. And here's a comment I just got a little while ago on TikTok. And this Filipina says, I'll give you some advice. Please look for a Filipina with a good living, with work, with monthly income. And so I want to talk briefly today about the type of woman that you can marry that might give you the least financial concerns. Now, there's all kinds of different situations where a Filipina might live. In general, I think work opportunities are there if she, can deal with the hours or the people or the pay. Excuse me, and that goes for the Filipinos as well. And there may be some very remote areas where there is almost nothing to do. And so sometimes a Filipino will move somewhere else. Who knows? A whole family might move so they can have better earning opportunities. But what this person is saying here, I agree with. If you can find someone, I've always said this since I've had this channel for about 6 years, that find somebody who has a job, because that means they're responsible. I get this cough about every year, and there's nothing I can do about it. So I apologize. It will go away. So if she has a job, she's responsible. She probably wants money for herself, but she also knows that she's not going to be able to keep it for herself. There's mama and papa, siblings. There's always nieces and nephews. And so there's always a lot of hands available to give money to. And so disciplining herself is really difficult. But she is used to the idea of getting up, going to work. Conditions might be less desirable than they might be here in the United States, and she's not making as much. And she'd love to be able to make more money in a place like the West. Have more better clothes and be able to help her family and so on, and eventually get a car like my wife did. And so they're also unselfish. They will help their families. That would be a good sign. And so I've said before, well, ask them what they do for a living. I know that was a controversial topic for a video here recently, but it goes both ways. You ask her, do you have a job? What do you do? And a lot of people, teaching seems to be a popular occupation there, and please leave comments here on Love Beyond the Sea. But a lot of the women you might be talking to are teachers, and that's good. And they need to be at work. This might be a good person to identify. They have a good job, and they're learning to be responsible with their income. However, that's going to detract from the amount of time they can spend with you, and you're already dealing with some kind of a large time zone difference. And then you have to factor in her hours. And I know some guys have the impression that the women are just there waiting for somebody to pick up the phone and talk to them. A lot of them are working. And I think the good ones are working. They're not getting paid much. They know that, at least not in USD. But they are working, they're responsible, and they probably want to continue to do that even if they go to be with you in your country. I don't think that's a bad thing at all. My wife always wanted to work. And so I gave her the option. I said, you don't necessarily have to work if you don't want to. I just want you to be doing something worthwhile and productive. You can always volunteer in something that would be really satisfying, but she always wanted to work. And so she did, which is a good thing now that I'm retired. And she's made more money every year. She's done really, really well. She's a supervisor now. She got that job after about 7.5 years of working here. It just seems like 7.5 minutes. It's gone by so quickly. But I agree with this. Look for somebody, if you can, that's got a job, and they show that they're decent with money. I would also say, if they do have a job, I'll just throw this tidbit in there. Watch for her clothes and make sure she doesn't get carried away with materialism. There's another video I've done, is there materialism, or Filipinas materialistic. So, I mean, yeah, they certainly could be. And this is a good idea. They like to keep themselves busy. They're not always thinking about themselves, which is a good attribute to find in a woman when you're going to bring her over to your country. I'm here in the United States. Now, there are some women who I'm sure could make good wives, but they don't have maybe no work experience. And maybe that's because of how far she got with school. If she only got through the 8th or 9th grade, well, that's going to be a real problem to work in a Western country, and even in the Philippines. Some have said you need to have a college degree to work, at Jollibee or in the mall. That may be true. I don't know. I wouldn't doubt it. But that's a good thing to look for. And if a woman doesn't have a job, not that I give advice to women here, I generally do not, but it would behoove her to go look for work. If she just has never wanted to, but she could, I think it's a good idea for her to go find a job and learn responsibility. And this is something a man is probably going to be interested in, I think, if he's looking for love beyond the sea.